Yahalabashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well, shalom to the 144,000, the one-third remnant men, women, and children of the whole elect to you. I say shalom. It's the brother Kabari Yash coming back at you in another lesson through the spirit of Pari Yahalabashim Yahushai. I praise and let's be edifying and straight to the point. And it's going to be a World War III news prophecy, man, because, all right, so hey, all these prophecies that we've been saying are popping off, man. Okay. And as you all know, what happened on Saturday night. Okay. Where is it? Yeah, right here. It is. I'm gonna start with this article right here. All right. We got a few articles. We're not gonna read them all. We're just gonna read some. All right. But as you can see, man, this thing is going down, man. And hey, Iran promised, hey, major consequences, man. So, yeah. This is from endtimeheadlines.org. It says U.S. drop bombs on Iran. America is officially at war. Okay? And what scripture comes to mind? Let's get it. Oh, went way too far. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 49. And you know the scripture coming out more and more now. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. Okay. Hear the counsel of the Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahushai that he have taken against Edom and his purposes. That he have proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock should draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Okay, so the least of the flock has drawn out America, Babylon the Great, into this third world war. Okay, which is America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the least of the flock are those Israelis over there, those small hats. Okay, all right, that's over there in Israel. Okay, they have drawn Babylon into this. Okay, and you know Trump on Saturday night, you know, if you saw the news, he was quote unquote celebrating and talking about Iran should now want peace. Seriously? So you purposely bomb another country, bomb Iran, and then expect peace to come out of that? Man, I tell you, man, you Edomites are stupid. Let's get a scripture on this, man. That goes to show you that Esau was not meant to rule, man. But hey, the Lord Yahushai using these devils, okay, for his plans, his prophecies, all right, for prophecy to be fulfilled, man. Let's read this. This is 1 Thessalonians 5, and let's start at verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahushai so cometh as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, okay, talking about peace now, all right, talking about peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, look, America, Babylon the Great, and hey, those Amalekites over there in Israel are not going to get away with what they did to Iran. And you're starting to see other nations, China, all right, even the some of those Islamic nations are starting to join up with Iran now, man. So look, and then what's gonna happen? Revelation 17:16. Let's get that. We're gonna go back to the articles, man. Okay. Then the EU and NATO nations are gonna start joining in and joining it back in Iran, man. So yeah, this thing is going down, man. Okay. And we know, okay, with this World War III, basically, it ain't popped off yet. It ain't going full blown yet. But we're very close. You know what comes before that, okay? And we always say this. We stress this over here. We always say that the MOTB, which is the RFID seal, has got to come before World War III goes full blown, okay? So that has to happen first, which we know that is very close at hand to happening, okay? So you're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, like it tells you in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay? So let's read this. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Those NATO and EU nations are going to turn on Babylon. Okay, Israel and Babylon, the Great America, are gonna be the only ones defending for themselves, and really, America is not gonna be able to help. Excuse me, not gonna be able to help Israel, man, because America, Babylon the Great, gonna be going through their own problems with the famines, the food shortages, the civil unrest, civil wars, everything, man. Okay, Jacob's trouble. So we're here. Okay. Revelation 17, verse 16. The 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. America is going to be burned with thermal nuclear fire, and the laser beam fire from the chariots. Okay? Verse 17. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts, which means their minds, to fulfill his will and to agree, and to give their kingdoms unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, and that's America. Okay? So the Lord Yahweh Shai are putting the spirit on these nations now. Slucky. What's that scripture? Yeah, Proverbs 21 and verse 1. Excuse me. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart, which means the mind, okay, the Hebrew word lob, which means the mind, is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So he controls the minds of these nations, man. He's the one that's moving the chess piece. Look, Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations, they playing checkers, while Yahweh Shai is playing chess. Okay? So, these nations think they're in control, but they're not. Okay? Let's go back to this. So let's read this, man. Let's read what happened on Saturday. Okay? You all know what happened on Saturday. It says the U.S. military conducted airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, whatever that word is. On Sunday morning, local time, President Trump announced. Yeah, it was Sunday morning, because it was still Saturday over here. It's when it's, you know, one day over here, like it's Monday over here, but it's Tuesday over there. Okay, it's about to be Tuesday. Well, it's already Tuesday over there in the eastern part of the world. Okay. Anyway, Trump's decision to intervene directly in support of Israel's efforts to dismantle Iran's nuclear program marks a historic escalation in Western Asia, which they fraudulently call the Middle East. It's not the Middle East, it's Western Asia. It's an intervention fraud, fraud, fraud with risk and uncertainty, one that Trump and many of his predecessors have sought to avoid. No, he wasn't trying to avoid this. That's bullshit. Including through diplomatic with Iran. Yeah, okay. It says the attack, which came on the ninth night of the unpreceded war between Israel and Iran, could provoke retaliation from Tehran against U.S. troops and military installations across the region, which has, and I'm going to show an article on that. Okay? And Iran also talking about attacking the Strait of Hormuz. And you know the Strait of Hormuz controls about, well, I'll get it. But nevertheless, it controls the oil. Okay? If they hit that, that's game over, man. Expect gas prices and food prices and everything over here to skyrocket. Hyperinflation is going to take place. Okay? So they've been talking about that. So let's read a little bit more of this and we're going to move on to the next article. And like I say, actually, I'm going to skip. Hold on. Let's read this first. It says, an Israeli official said Israel was notified by the Trump administration in advance of the U.S. strike in Iran, which, by the way, was an illegal strike. Okay? It was. It says what they're saying. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Es Esfand, whatever the word is. All planes are now outside of Iran's airspace, Trump wrote in his true social media account. A full plate load of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. He continued, referring to Iran's most for, fort, fortress uranium enrichment facility. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. That's nothing but you saw just bragging. Now is the time for peace. Now is the time for peace. You sure about that? You read in First Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. We're not in no time for peace, and as a matter of fact, the scripture comes to mind, man. Thinking this is going to bring peace. This is not going to bring peace. Well, I swear, man, Esau Edom is stupid. Edomites are stupid, man. That goes to show you that these devils should not be in charge, man. Okay? Let's read this. Let's read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. You're gonna jump down to verse 8. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Let's jump down to verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're not in a time of peace, man. What you got? Look, with America, Babylon doing that to Iran, do you think that's gonna bring peace out of that shit? Hell no. We're in a time of hate and war now. This is a time of war. Like I say, man, these Edomites are stupid. Thinking this is gonna bring peace. Let's read this. Let's read it, and then we're gonna move on to the next article. Because this, yeah. It says there is not another military in the world that could have done this. Trump bragging about the U.S. military. The pride of America, man. Now is the time for peace. In the days leading up to the strikes, Trump and his team became increasingly convinced that diplomacy had run its course and that military action would be necessary to eliminate Iran's nuclear program. And what has that done? Okay, I'll put this article in the description box. And what all has that done? Now you got cities in America. Let's read this. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read a little bit out of here. Okay. Now you got cities on high alert for the sleeper cells here in Babylon. Okay. Another article from endtimeheadlines.org says major cities go on high alert following Trump's military strike on Iran. Now them sleeper cells are going to be awakened. Okay. And it's going to cause some mischief and mayhem. Major cities across the United States heightened security measures in response to President Donald Trump's airstrikes targeting 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Okay? So now you done just made America even more unsafe. Way to go, dummy. And guess what? There's been talks, Iran been talking about doing this. Okay? There's another article. Iran just ordered the closure of Strait Hormuz, putting 1/5 of world's oil supply at risk. If this happens, guess what's gonna happen? You're about to see gas prices skyrocket, and you're about to see food prices skyrocket, man. Everything is about to go up. Everything. You about to be paying about 10, 12, 15, $20 at the gas pump. People are gonna be literally out here fighting for over gas pretty soon, man. Okay? Let's read a little bit of this. It says Iran's parliament reportedly approved a measure to close the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil shipments in response to U.S. military strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. This decision, which awaits final approval from Iran's Supreme National Security Council, has raised alarms about the potential disruption of nearly one-fifth of the world's oil supply. It's over with. If they approve this, man, and they close this, that's game over, man. Game over. All that traveling and driving is about to cease. The move follows heightened tensions after USB-2 bombers target key Iranian nuclear sites, escalating the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. So basically, just made things far worse. Okay, let's get another article. I'm just gonna go through these. I'm gonna read a little bit of these. I'm not gonna read them all. Hey, as you can see, look at this. Top Putin aide warns that many nations are ready to supply Iran their nuclear warheads. Now you got other nations that are siding with Iran. America and Israel is about to be on their own. They're making allies enemies, man. They're turning, your allies are starting to turn against you, America. And really, they already started turning way before this happened. Okay? What's this guy's name? Dmitry Medvedev, whatever this person's name is. Former Russian president and current deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council issued a provocative statement claiming that a number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. So they getting help. Yeah, they getting help. And I think Trump said he was gonna do something if that does happen. So now you're about to, if you do something about that, then you're gonna make other nations basically just turn against Babylon. Man, it's over with, man. It's over. This alarming, assertion came in the wake of U.S. airstrikes targeting three key Iranian nuclear facilities. Okay, you see that, ordered by President Donald Trump. Okay, it says this person says commented. He said posted on X have heightened global concerns about the escalation conflict in Western Asia and the potential proliferation of nuclear weapons. So this place is done, man. All right, this place is done. The U.S. strikes described by Trump as a spectacular military success were part of a coordinated assault involving over 225 military aircraft, including B-2 steel bombers and the deployment of bunkers, boosters, bombers, and Tomahawk missiles. Dang. So there you go, man. So now you got other nations that are joining in. Anyway, let's get another. Now this one is very, very interesting right here because this is so true. This is from the People's Voice.tv. It says Putin warns Trump, globalists are using you as a puppet to ignite World War III. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. And Putin is right, man. Now, I don't like Putin. I don't like, those Edomites over there, but I have to agree with this, man. He is being used as a puppet to unite World War III. He's doing the elite's bidding. Why you think they put him back in there? Why you think Trump got selected back into the White House? He didn't get elected back to the White House. He got selected back into the White House because presidents aren't elected, they are selected. Okay? So why you think he was selected to go back to the White House? Because they already know the second term he was going to do the bidding of the elites, man. Okay? Point blank period. And he's doing exactly what he was put in there to do. Vladimir Putin has delivered a stark warning to Donald Trump, a warning not just about Iran, but about history. You're walking into a trap, Putin told him, a trap that it was laid long before any of the current players were born. Exactly. Okay? I just got to watching the video by the brother Ashiar from GMS North Carolina. Okay? That Masonic Albert Pike, okay, and what he wrote about there will be three wars, World War One, World War Two, and World War Three, and really World War One and World War Two were already prophesied in the Bible before Albert Pike even thought of this, man. Okay, this is all part of Esau's playbook, but really they don't realize this is all part of Yahweh Shimon Shai's playbook as well. And as a matter of fact. It says a trap designed by the globalist architect who followed the same playbook for over a century. The blueprint, it tracks back to General Albert Pike. And like I said in the video, they got a street named after this devil here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, man. Yeah, they got a street that's named after this devil here, man. Albert Pike. Yeah. The man who sketched out the master plan for 3 world wars. The first two unfolded with eerie precision, and now the third is taking shape right in front of us. Brings me to a scripture. Let's get it. Let's go to Revelation. There's one in Revelation too. I'm going to get that one first. Revelation, the 9th chapter. I think it's Revelation 9 and let's see. Yeah, right here. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. The first woe was World War One. That's past. Okay? It says there shall come 2 woes more hereafter. All right? Which brings us to what? Revelation 11 and verse 14. Okay? Revelation 11 and verse 14 says, the second woe is past, that was World War II, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That's World War III. So the third world war is coming quickly. Okay? See? Let's go back. Come on. There we go. Where was I? Yeah. I read that. It says Putin sees it. He knows the script, and he's warning Trump. This war isn't yours. It isn't America. It's theirs. Who? The elites, the global elites. And Trump is nothing but a puppet for the elites, man. He's being used. Well, I tell you, man, Esau's stupid, man. The global elite want this war exactly to collapse the old world and bring in the new. Boy, come on, man. This is what it's all about. This is why this is being done. So they could collapse the old world, the old system, and bring in that new world order, that digital system, where you will be chipped, man. Okay? See it. This is a part of their agenda. I got a scripture. Hey, man. You know we living in the last days. It's beautiful, man. Let's go to Job. Job. So really, Trump is doing nothing but the bidding for the elites, man. He's doing the bidding of the elites. Point blank, period. That's why he was called back in there. That's why he was selected back in the White House. Excuse me. Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So the Lord Yahweh is going to disrupt these devils' plans. Okay? So, yeah. These devils' plans are not going to go through. Let's get this. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 8. All right. And this happened during around King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. All right. And this is being done once again in Babylon the Great America, man. Okay. History is basically repeating itself. Daniel 8:25. And through his policy, okay, policies that he's trying to cough up, man, with this NWO. Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, which means the mind, and by peace shall destroy many. Did we not read, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come? Yeah. And he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken with a hand. They're going to try to fight Yahushua at his second coming, but they're going to be broken. They're going to lose badly. Okay? So let's go back. Let's see if there's any more I want to read in here. Yeah, let's read a little bit more. It says the global elite. Did I read it? Yeah. I didn't finish reading this. Let's continue. Let's start at the top again. It says the global elite wants this war to collapse the old world and bring in the new. A war between civilization designed to create chaos so vast that only a single global solution will seem acceptable. The Hegelian dialect: problem, reaction, solution. They're creating the problem, the people react, and they're going to bring forth the solution. But it's not going to be a good one. This is all about control at the end of the day. They want to control the masses. Okay, that's why we preach over here the MOTB, which is the CHIP, has got to come before World War III, okay, goes full blown. So they're creating chaos behind the scenes so people can react, okay? The people going to want a solution, and they're going to bring the solution. And it's not going to be a good one, man, okay? That's why those sleeper cells are about to be awakened, okay? You're about to have many, many false flags here in Babylon. This is going to create all types of chaos, confusion here in Babylon, man. The city of confusion is broken down. Let's get that scripture. That's America, Babylon the Great, by the way. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go up. Isaiah. Excuse me. Isaiah chapter 24. Let's get it. Isaiah 24, and let's start at verse 7. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. People are not happy, man. Okay, like it tells you in Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Okay? Verse 8. The mirth of the tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Verse 9. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up that no man may come in. Okay, people are gonna be hid in their homes, man, when all hell breaks loose. When shit hits the fan here in Babylon. Okay? You're starting to see a little bit of that, but it's going to get worse. Verse 11, there is a crying for wine in the streets, crying for truth. People are looking for answers. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. The mirth of this place is gone, man. There's no more joy in Babylon. Okay? It's coming to an end. That bread and circus is coming to an end, man. That's keeping people distracted from what's really going on. Once that bread and circus is completely gone, people are going to really see what that government is truly doing. But right now, people are caught up in their daily lives, man, living their daily lives and going about their merry way. And that's when the sudden destruction is going to hit them the hardest. What does it say in Proverbs 22 and verse 3? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Yeah. Verse 12, and the city is left desolation, and the gates is smitten with destruction. Okay? So, all these things are happening, man. Okay? All right. Let's see. What was I? Yeah. Let's read a little bit more. It says, Trump think he's in control. Yeah, he think he's in control. And really the glory how about Shimei Shai is in control, not man. Okay? The glory how about Shimei Shai, he what's that scripture go? Damn, let's just get it. Snarky. Let's get it. Let's just go and get it. It's Proverbs. Yeah, Proverbs 20 and verse 24. Let's get it. Yeah, Proverbs 20 and verse 24. Man's goings are of the glory how about Shemel Shai. How can, God damn it. Snarky. Hold on, move that down here. I hate when that happens. Snarky, let me read that again. Nothing but Satan. Proverbs 20 and verse 24. Man's goings are of the glory how about Shemel Shai. How can a man then understand his own way? So is the glory how about Shemel Shai that punish the steps of man. Okay? A lot of people think we got free will. There's no such thing as free will. Okay? There's no such thing as free will. Lord ponders our steps. Okay? Let's read this again. It says, Trump thinks he's in control, that the strikes are calculated, limited, and tactical. But Putin is trying to pull him back from the edge. Yeah. You don't want no part of this, man. But hey, Trump ain't gonna listen, man. He's telling him, you're not the author of this war. You're the instrument. Dang. You're stepping into a ritual that was planned generations ago. And exactly. And really, this was, it was already written way before it happened. Okay? This was already written. The prophets of old was already telling about this. And as a matter of fact, I gotta get it. I wasn't intending this lesson to be as long as it is, but that's okay. Hey, call light. How about Shemel Shai, man? Prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes. Okay? Proverbs 28, verse 8. Not Proverbs 28. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. Slocky. Sorry about that. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So the prophets were prophesying about this way before it was written. Okay? Okay? Way before Albert Pike, Vladimir Putin, Trump, and all of them All right, which we know Trump is basically Nero back in reincarnation. But hey, this was all written. The prophets were already warning about this. Future prophecies was writing it down as the Lord commanded us. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's go to Habakkuk. And the prophets of old, they're back and they're not prophesying again what they written in the ancient world. Okay? I was going to go, yeah, Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2, let's start at verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me up the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh shall answer me and said, write the vision, that's the prophecies, and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And where you read these prophecies from? The Bible, man. Okay? Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end, and we're at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So these prophecies are no longer tarrying. Hey, we're here. Okay? Let's see. I'm not going to read the rest of this. But you get it, man. It says, and then came the warning that echoed through every coordinate of power. If the United States takes this path, Putin says they will open the gates of hell. And hell happens on earth, basically. Let's get one thing straight. The mainstream media, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, BBC, they are not giving you the truth. Duh. No, they ain't giving you the truth. They're not going to give you the truth. They give you one truth and with many more lies. That's why people don't trust in the mainstream media anymore. That's why people watch alternative news, okay? Social media news and stuff like that. That gives you the full truth. Because the mainstream media is not going to give you the full truth of what's really going on. They are pumping out pure, unadulterated bullshit. Duh. You already know that. And why? Because the CIA, the same agency that has toppled governments, run black ops, and manipulate public opinions for decades, has had its claws deep in Hollywood and the press for generations. And who runs Hollywood and who owns the press and who owns the mainstream media? The small hats do. So of course they're not gonna give you the whole truth. They're gonna sell you lies, man. Okay? They've been preparing Americans and their globalist partners for this war narrative for years, conditioning the public minds, selling fear, selling lies. No shit. Yeah, it's true. I'm not gonna read the rest of this. I'll put the rest of this in the description box, so let's move on. Alright, we got another article we're gonna show. I'm not gonna read it. As you can see, Iran attacked U.S. military base in Qatar. So there you go. Iran says it has carried out a mighty and successful attack on a U.S. air base in Qatar. So get ready for more of this, man. And plus, get ready for this. All right, Germany to reinstate mandatory military draft aimed escalation World War III fears. And you're about to see the military draft come to pass, man. Okay? A lot of men and women here in Babylon are going to be getting drafted for this third and final war. So, it's going down, man. Okay? And how many articles is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll try to put all of these in the description box for you. Okay, but as you can see, man, prophecy is speaking loud and clear. What more proof do you need, man? Let's get about a couple more scriptures and we're gonna close this thing out, man. Cause hey, Esau Edom, yeah, you're being visited, man. Your time is up. right, so let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and let's read verse 21 and 22. For there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the days are being shortened for the elect's sake, man. Okay, we almost out of here. Our salvation is closer than we think. Okay, so a lot of things are moving in place. The glory how about Shai is moving the chess pieces. Okay, prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes, and it's beautiful. Okay, all we gotta do is just sit back and and let the Lord Yahweh Shai do his work, man. And that's what he's doing the great work. Okay, so with that, y'all may end it here, man. I pray his lesson was edifying and straight to the point. Calling Yahweh Shai by Shimmer Kakwadash. Kwam Yasharala Shalom Wa Abba Ball. We're almost out of here, brothers and sisters. Shalom.